Hello, I'm David Smalley with Elves and Angels. I'm here to do an assembly video on Sera's kitchen today. And I'm going to first of all show you the parts and give you a couple of hints, and then we'll do the assembly. So here we go, get started. First thing you want to do when you get it is it'll be a little bit different than this. These knobs and this faucet will not be on there. You'll simply screw them into a pre-drilled hole that we have there, and you want to bring them up snug, and then after they're snug, they don't move, put your screwdriver in them, back off a quarter of a turn until it spins freely. It might be like that, okay? You're going to do that. I just put them on now to save time in the assembly video. Same thing with the door frame. This is the door frame. Until they spin, snug them down first, and then back off a quarter of a turn until they move freely. You have your parts, your oven shelf, the top scroll, the rear connector, the back, and then we have two sides. I'll move this a little bit here. This. And these are sides to Sera's kitchen. On the outside they look like this, but on the inside, as with all Elves and Angels products, we provide grooves for you to put the pieces in that attach to the sides in here. This would be the cooktop, the door frame, the oven shelf. This 1/4-inch groove that goes up here, that's where you're going to slide your 1/4-inch green Baltic birch piece of plywood to put the back on. It's quite simple, and we'll start doing it right now. The first thing we're going to do is put the cooktop onto the side, and you may or may not have a helper with you. If you don't, it's fine. It's always great if you do, it makes it easier, but it can be done this way also. I'm going to use these two pieces of Baltic birch to support the other end of the cooktop. And this end here, I'm going to put in the groove that I spoke of. And with the Sera's kitchen, the cooktop, you want to push all the way forward. And the reason being is most of our kitchens, you line it up with the back track, is that you have to put, excuse me, this scroll piece right on here afterwards. So that's why. So push it all the way forward, snug it in good, and then we're going to put two screws, one in the rear. Just apply pressure, pushing your cooktop forward. Another one in the front. And then we're going to do the other side. Yes. And you don't have to hurry with these. I'm going a little quickly because the videos get too long for people, so we try to keep them down. So I'm doing the same two screws I did on the other side on this. Then, show you what it looks like. You've got the cooktop on. Now I'm going to flip it around and move over here so you can see me a little better. Put the door frame in. Now, these grooves in the front are for the door frame. This slides up here like this. You want to try to do it evenly so it doesn't fall out of the track. If you have another person that can hold the bottom, which is a help, put the first screw in. And you want to snug this up at the top as far as you can. You just kind of give it a little push, and then you're going to put the screw in here. I'm not going to put all the screws in because it's not necessary. You would actually have two more, but for the video this is fine. I'm just trying to show you how you do it, and that there's really not much to it. And the bottom, probably at the top. So in that short of amount of time, you're to this point right here with the Sera's kitchen. We're going to go down on the front. Be careful when you put it on the front so you don't damage the kitchen. If you have something soft, it would be great so that it doesn't get scratched up. Pine is a soft wood. Then I'm going to put this here. This is going to go even with the bottom of the top scroll. Is going to go even with the bottom of the shelf. Now you'll see here, this seems like this doesn't fit. You could say, oh, they cut it too long, but we didn't. We actually cut it tight so that you could back off that screw just a hair, and you see it just drops right in there. That's in case this piece should shrink, which anything's possible. We can't always tell the moisture content of a piece of wood. We want you to have a nice joint there. And if I give you that piece like that tight, and you can back off that screw, you will always have a nice tight joint there. All right, and then we're going to flip it around. We're going to get the other side. And you can back off both of those screws if needs be. Okay, there's actually 2 screws that go in the back of this, but there's no need for us to put those in. This is the rear connector. The flat part without the groove, here's the groove. The groove wants to go down towards the bottom of the kitchen. Flat part goes up here. The same thing here. If this seems tight, back off your screw that goes into your cooktop and it will drop right in. This isn't quite as critical of a piece because it's not visible to the eye at all. But that one up there, you wouldn't like it if it had shrunk a 1/4 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch and had a big gap there. So why that's there. We're going to drop in the oven shelf now. Like this. And the same thing down here. If this seems tight or anything, back off your screws just a little bit, and it will spread this out so you can drop it in. This bottom shelf wants to be even with the inside of this groove here. You don't want to be up in the middle of it because you'll stop your back from going up into the kitchen. I don't really need to even screw that in. There's 1 screw on either side. You just screw them in. You take your back, you slide it up the grooves that we put in there. Goes up like this. It's actually going to slide up into the bottom of the rear connector, like that. And you may have to, the plywood sometimes has a little bit of flex in it and everything. You may just have to move it up and down in order to get it so that it actually goes in that groove good. And then we have 2 screws in the back. I'm going to put 1 in. Actually goes into the middle of the top shelf. I mean the bottom shelf. And Sera's kitchen is actually done. That's the rear. This is the front. Another step here. You're going to put the birch plugs in that we provide. What you're going to do is take Elmer's glue or anything that you have, school glue, put a dab right there on the edge, take your birch plug, drop it in, and then maybe give it a little bit of a tap with a hammer. Not a hard one or anything. All wood is susceptible to moisture, both expansion and contraction. And that plug could possibly either be loose or it could be tight. If it's tight, just tap it a little harder and get it in there. We usually try to leave expansion and contraction points right in here where there's a little bit of leeway in case that does happen, and it won't interfere with your assembly of any of our products. We have everything built into these that we can possibly think of. They're very, very successful. We have almost no problems with assembly with these. And these videos actually will help us a tremendous amount because when you can see someone do it, makes it a lot simpler. I think that's about it for Sera's kitchen. Excuse me. I think you really enjoy it. If this is not a surprise for someone, and involve your children with it if you like. They really enjoy helping. They can hand you the plugs, the screwdriver, whatever, unless they're too young and they'll eat the plugs. But they really enjoy seeing their parents be able to assemble a product that maybe they never would have imagined that you could have even done. There you go, you'd be done with that and you would have done the whole thing. We just provided the wood. We'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank you for Elves and Angels, for buying Maiden-made, buying American-made, natural product, and supporting a family business. And thank you personally for your support of both Elves and Angels and the Smalley family for 26 years now. And we very much appreciate it. Thank you.